Deep breaths. my head hurts. My head hurts after this phase. There's still at least 2 more to get through in terms of the expansion, because obviously phases 5 and 6, I just see them as expansion, not expansion. I just see them as basically extra free agency. So expansion teams could be involved in that, but we'll see. Anyway, hello on all. We've got to intro there. Hello on all, and welcome back to the Purple Rain podcast. It's just, yeah. Here is your second recap episode for the 2026 PWHL roster building process for the expansion teams. As a reminder, with each recap episode, we record and then drop them into your feeds on the exact same day, so you'll be getting this episode later on tonight, ahead of phase 3 starting tomorrow. And of course, that will take us up to Friday, but we'll explain more about that at the end of the episode, because obviously our scheduling gets a little bit messed up after that. But anyway, yeah, so phase 2 was pretty much all about the expansion teams entering the fray and starting to build those initial foundational signings. So each team got to make 5 signings, and of course there was those 2 various contracts that you could offer a player. One was an EPO and one was an EFO, and of course with the EFO, if a player got given that contract, then they had to sign it, no ifs, no buts. The only caveats is if more than one team wanted to give that to a player, that they could choose which team to go to, and the other caveat, which we learned during the process, was they can decide the terms of the deal between 1 to 2, 3, or 4 years. So it honestly was a really, really exhausting weekend, especially of course as we were very, very busy on the Saturday and the Sunday. Because obviously on the Saturday I had to go back to Travel Centre to pick up my Meta glasses, which it's funny because obviously on the Wednesday we went and got because normally I don't have Wednesdays free, but I did have it free last week. So we went and got the glasses ordered, and I was very surprised they got sorted that quickly. I thought it might take maybe a week or 2 before they were going to be in, but no. So so we got them all ordered on the Wednesday, and on the Friday they said that they're in. So we thought we'll pick them on Saturday. Get them now straight away. So so we went to pick them up on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday I was in Widnes. Luckily, Sunday was more quieter affair. There was only one move that was made on the Sunday, so wasn't. But yeah. So it was just very, very busy. Of course, busy this weekend as well. Yeah. Right, how are we going to be able to keep track of phase 4? Well, phase 4 doesn't start till the Sunday. Right, so I imagine we should be fine, but yeah, it's going to be. Anyway, So it was a really busy weekend last weekend, regardless, but the expansion process has made it more, And there's been a lot of drama that's happened within the last 24 hours that is also just thrown the whole thing into chaos. We're descending into chaos, boys and girls. We're descending into chaos. Let's explain what we're going to do, yeah? Oh, God, I just generally feel like I've got a headache. Really? Yeah. I'm awesome, guys. I can feel one now coming on. It's just, Yeah, anyway, right. Let's say we're going to... I will power on. Let me explain what we're going to do today. We're going to go through all the signings that were made by each expansion team. We're going to do it team by team. And we're going to do it in the order that they had their press conferences. So Detroit will go first. Then we'll do Las Vegas. Then Hamilton. And we'll finish off with Thursday. And, yeah. That's how we're going to do it. Yeah. And it's going to be a lot of shocks and all that. So I would say baby advice, the boys and girls watching at home or listening at home to basically go and get yourself some treats, nibbles, drinks, do whatever you... Yeah, just get yourself some... Yeah. do that. Make yourselves feel comfortable, because this is going to be quite a bit of a... Because you're going to need something to get through this, because, oh my god. I think every single signing that was made, it was kind of like last year's expansion draft. It's like, jaws on the floor. Jaws on the floor. Especially the last few sides of Las Vegas. But yeah. So, should we get started? Okay, right, so... You guys go and get what you need to make yourselves comfortable, and we will be right back. Okay, so we're going to start with PWHL Detroit. I know. Thank you, Hockey Town. We love you. Happy days. Happy days. Yeah. Because PWHL Detroit signed the following players as their 5 foundational signings. They were Darryl Watts, and they used their EFO on Darryl Watts. Keller Barnes, Hannah Bilker, Brianna Patty! The bitch is gone. And then finally, Jesse Comfort. So, let's get straight to it. Okay, I mean, right, so we recorded, and obviously, we recorded our recap for Phase 1 on the Thursday, where we basically went through the protection lists, and we did, of course, we brought up a few players that were noticeably absent from those lists, and of course, Britta was one of those. And I remember saying how, so you did think this was a hot mic moment, but it wasn't. I had to clarify. Whenever I think you've had a hot mic moment, I always had to clarify whether it was or not. Yeah. But I said you can go to that episode back for the proof. The proof's there. It's on record. Check the tapes. I said that if any of these 4 teams dare take Britta from us, then I will, for their entire inaugural season next year, I will not be mean to them on this show. So, guess what? PWHL Detroit, I'm a man my word. Throughout the entire season 4 on our show, you will not hear me say a bad word about you guys. These 2, on the other hand, it's fair game. Because we did not make that promise. Nope, we didn't. Nope, these 2, it's fair game. Alright? They can slag you off. I can't until 2027-28. Okay? That's the deal. But, wow. And the crazy thing about it is I was actually watching my Oakland Ballers game at the time. Because this season, all Ballers games on a Friday are available to watch on YouTube. So I was watching that game. It happened early on. I think it was halfway through maybe the first or second inning. That dropped. These 2 could tell I was very happy about something. And so I was like, wait till the end of the inning. And then, of course, what happened? I give them the news. These 2 then jumped me. And we just basically spent the whole night basically just celebrating. Well, dare I say, my wife over here basically acted like somebody who's been all night out drinking and spoons. You take that back, you did. You take that back. The only person who cracks open the rum in this household is you. Yep. You know, for what I don't drink. Yeah, so. But you just basically like, oh, happy days. Oh, happy days. I thought you were going to full blow the whole song. No, that line. Yeah. I know a Bicker Dibbly version of it, but I'm not going to go there because that's not probably the official version. Anyway. Why? But yeah, I think it's been no secret that us 3 have absolutely hated having a player like Britta Carslemy on our team. Not just because of her aggressive and, dare I say, violent style of play, but also her views on the LGBT community literally rubbed me up the wrong way from the get-go. Oh god, I am never gonna forget the day after the 2024 draft. We look at what the furore was, and your face. It was like it's seen a ghost. it was like it's seen a ghost. I'm never gonna forget that. Your face, it was just, yeah, it was just hard for you. Given I know, yeah, and it's been tough. It has been really tough. Especially as she's been still doing her anti-LGBT stuff. Yeah. So she's not sorry. Yeah. She's not sorry. That pathetic apology that she tried to do when she got drafted basically, that's in the shredder, because you still basically did your anti-LGBT partnerships, like the one you had back at the start of January. And I was like, oh, that really took the biscuit me, because what? You're filming stuff for your anti-LGBT partnerships during Frost practices? Get away. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. So, I hope Detroit knows what they're letting themselves in for, by the way. Okay, but, end of the day, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, let's see what happens now when she now has to visit Grand Casino Arena. Well, if we're ever at Grand Casino Arena when Detroit comes down, you know what's going to happen. And we can do it on the top before full-blown longs, but we don't do it subtly because she's not on our team anymore, so it's all fair game. Yeah, fair game. Fair game. Oh, Montreal, give us some tips. How loud can you boo? Give us some tips. But yeah, absolutely good news. Hallelujah, the book, she's gone. Fan-bloody-tastic. Oh, lady. Don't use all the English language. Player, make some noise! Ow, ow. Yeah, you can tell we're a bit giddy that we never have to deal with that bitch on our squad ever again in any form. But brilliant. I mean, it kind of reminded me of when the Sharks dealt Evander Kane to Edmonton a few years ago, because Evander Kane, he was a troublemaker, and he did bring my team's reputation into disrepute, but I kind of thinking, who's going to want that baggage? Who's going to, despite his talents, who's going to want that baggage? And clearly Emerson thought, we'll have them. Yeah, Emerson loves baggage. GM and potential coach now. Because apparently, Edmonton are considering looking at getting that coach who did naughty things in Columbus's dressing room with photographing. Oh! No! Yeah! No! Yeah! No! Yeah! He's got no. Not home. Not home. Look it up. Is this actually? Oh, it's gone a bit skewy. There we go. But also, perfect time for the horror there, lady. No. No. Seriously? Yeah. Apparently. So, Edmonton clearly does baggage. Not Stanley Cups. TikTok, McDavid! TikTok! Make your move. Make your move. He's not going to be with us much longer. Yeah, so I could not believe that Detroit actually, went and got Britta. Because I thought, no way. This is why we weren't happy that we used our 4 protection slot on her last year. Because we just looked at last year and thought, no way is Seattle or Vancouver going to take Britta Lemmy knowing what baggage she comes with. Yeah? And look what happened. That waste meant that we lost players like Brooke McQuigg and Denise Shistabat in the expansion draft. Yeah, we got her back. Please don't quote Ross and Friends! I won't. Right, thank God. We've had to put that all season long. Alright, but we could have had a better chance of taking those players if we had not protected Britta. We could have. It was not needed. No one was going to take her. But yeah, that is just brilliant. Yep, brilliant. Music to our ears, just brilliant. Absolutely just thrilled to see the back of her. And if you go on any social media right now, you will see a lot of other people agree with me. Happy days! Yeah. Happy days! She will not be, I mean this in all sincerity, she will not be getting a wall reception when she comes back to Grand City with Detroit next year. Nope. Don't even bother giving her a nice video package on the big screen. Don't bother. She doesn't deserve one. Right, shall we also thought Jessie Comfort, because this was an interesting signing from Tio. She was the last to be signed to Detroit, so she spent last year with Toronto. Interesting pick, would you say? Well, I think given how Detroit kind of loaded on big guns in that for their first four, you kind of felt, whoever that fifth signing was going to be, you'd always feel a bit, oh, really? Now, I do think Jessie Comfort definitely is someone who would have easily been taken by expansion team, but I would have thought maybe San Jose. Yeah, oh yeah, given how Troy Ryan, yeah. So a lot of us, I think us three definitely kind of feel, well, surely Troy Ryan's going to try and lure some TO players to San Jose, because obviously he knows them and trusts them and respects them well. Yeah. It depends on what their opinion on him is, yeah. So that could be interesting. But yeah, it's interesting. Nobody from TO went to San Jose in this phase. That could still change, but we'll see. Because obviously, we still got phases 2. Sorry, not phase 2. Not phase 2. We've had phase 2. Phases 3 and 4 still to go. So there's possibility for players to still be taken. Now, I think TO only lost one player in this phase. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. But maybe Troy wants a fresh start with Sarze. So maybe he's thinking, well, let's not take. Well, I could potentially take a lot of people from TO. Maybe I don't want to do that. So we'll have like a fresh start and build a franchise that's going to be, a really competitive team. Not that I'm saying TO wasn't competitive, but I'm just saying, given how the Celtics took a massive step backwards this year, maybe he's thinking, let's go for a fresh start. But we could do more like later. Let's get started. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad signing for Detroit. Yeah. But I think it depends on who else they get in phases 3 and 4. Yeah. But right now, you look at those five, you think Jessie Comfort, you think, okay, it's not bad, but not a big splash either. But I definitely think, she's got the opportunity now. Because, let's face it, Tio got so much star talent on that roster. We all talk about how hard it is for people for players on Montreal to make their mark. Because the likes of Blair and Stacey being there. But also, Tio has had a lot, of these past 3 years, has had a lot of firepower. So it's kind of hard for the young guns to try and make their mark. So I think this could be a really good thing for Jessie Comfort. Because if she can then have a standout year in Detroit, that could really show that she's now found a new home and she's now shining like the place she should be. Yeah. So that's kind of the beauty of expansion with some players. You think, well, they haven't done well on one roster. You move them elsewhere, and they probably have a bad chance of shining and showing you this is what they're capable of. Yeah. So there you go. That's one of the main beauties of expansion, even though it does come at a cost with them departing your team to begin with. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we need to correct something. Toronto lost 2 players this phase. But one was on a standard player contract. There you go. That's what it was. There you go. See? There you go. There you go. There you go. We can very easily fix things when we do a cock-up. Yeah. Yeah. So, should we go to that other player then? Yeah. Right, so Daryl Watts. Are we surprised that she was an EFO? No. You just, when you try and list the players you think could be taken with an EFO, you would have thought Daryl Watts would have been right at the top of every team's list. So I wasn't surprised by that at all. And the indications that we got from Gia Kingsbury when she was doing the media rounds was, yeah, that's it. She's going. Mm-hmm. I mean, it did sound like that she did try to protect her and Turbo, but the contracts never came through. Yeah, I don't know how much I believe about that, really. Yeah, because you can AG, he's like, oh, we tried to protect so-and-so, and I'm like, well, show us the proof. Yeah, show us the proof. But yeah. But we'll see if Turnbull does go or not in phases 3 or 4. We'll see. Or if Tia can get the job done and protect her, because remember, there's extra protection slots available now. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of felt for Daryl Watts, yeah, easily she was going to be gone as an EFO. Yeah. Other players I would have thought would have been EFO candidates, obviously Harry Knight, which we'll talk about another time. Brianne Denner, which we'll get onto in the moment. Hamilton. Yeah. I think Hellcoy Schofield also would have been an EFO candidate. The Steckline would have been an EFO candidate. Jesse Albrecht. Yeah, Aldridge! Yeah, there's loads. But what I feel is Carl Luxey is the number one candidate to be given an EFO. So I'm not surprised that Detroit went there for, right, straight in, boom, first side, off the bat. There's your franchise player. Right there. Right there. There's your franchise player. Now build around her. Now build around her. So there you go. There you go. I do question how Detroit's gone about this particular phase, because there's been a lot of skullduggery. It's involving them. Ian Kennedy, in his article that he graded the expansion thesis in this phase, he even compared them to the Golden Knights. Now, Ian, I'm thinking that's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh, especially when we can't really talk about the skullduggery until after the roster freeze. Okay, he did? In an article today, go on the Hockey News website, it's there. In an article that he released today, he basically graded all 4 expansion teams so far after this phase, and he basically called Detroit, basically, the PHL group of the Golden Knights. I'm like, that's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh. That's very rude. Someone take away his journalism degree. That's very rude. How are we gonna know that until November? It's like Ian, mate, have you learned nothing from last year? Just learned nothing from last year? We're not gonna know how these teams will look until we get to see some actual games. Set Becky Kerr on him, she'll put him straight. Yeah, she knew, like we did last year. Ooh, might not be all rainbows and sunshine expansion team. She knew. But what a steal. What a steal. And then finally, you've got 2 from Seattle gone. Kaya Barnes and Hannah Bilker gone. Firepower gone from Seattle right there. But I think with Seattle, you kind of expected they were always going to lose big because of how they went about with their protection. You always expect at least one big gun was going to go, but that's 2 in one fell swoop. Right there. Yeah, right there. That is 2 in one fell swoop. Woo! Yeah. Woo! But great for Detroit to get 2 rock side players there who know how to really light a lamp. Obviously, Belka's still got to deal with that injury. Yeah, so I was a bit surprised because would you be put off by that? Nah, Rod. Really? Yeah. I think if a player's got to deal with an injury still, I probably would have been put off taking them. But clearly, they see potential. Yeah, you do wonder if Harberger hadn't had that injury, would she have then been able to improve Seattle's performance in the second half of the season? I don't know. She wouldn't be able to go to the Oscars if she didn't have that injury. Well, that's fair. Yep, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. No, but I think these are 2 big assets that are really going to help Detroit, get some firepower, get some offense. We know about how Belka can score. Yeah. She did very well with Seattle last year. A lot of their prowess came from that. Yeah. Belka, Knight, and Grant Mentes was kind of the bulk of Seattle's firepower last year, this past season. So, those are 2. So, losing K-Bots and Belka right there, those are 2 big losses right there. Those are 2 big losses right there. But yeah, so I feel that Seattle's going to miss that. I just already, basically, I already thought after this phase that Seattle's going to need to do a lot of repercussions in restocking, I should say, in the entry draft. But we'll see how it goes. The fact that they're probably going to drop high is going to help too. But but wow, what a way! I just look at this roster for Detroit so far and think, wow, the amount of firepower on this team, it's so stacked. But again, it's all about, will these lines gel when you put them together at the start of November, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, but wow, what a great start. Yeah, what a great start. So, let's remind you of their 5 financial signings. So, PHL Detroit signed Darryl Watts with their EFO from Toronto. Kaya Barnes and Hannah Bilker from Seattle. Bria Carslevy from Minnesota. And Jessie Confer from Toronto. Okay, next up, we're going to PWHL Las Vegas. Now, as you guys know, in the last 24 hours, there's been a lot of drama, furore, carnage. Whatever you want to use to describe it, it has gone down. Basically, shit's hit the fan. Shit has hit the fan with Vegas. So, technically, they did sign 5 players, but we're only going to talk about 4 of them, because one of them has basically said, I'm not playing. Basically, the Cotagonfier, I'm not playing. Well, fine, we'll shoot you then. So, we will not talk about that, and it is their EFO. Oh! Yeah. It is their EFO. We are not going to talk about that, because right now, and mainly because of the roster freeze, that will not be lifted until after Phase 4. We are not going to go into that now, because we've got strands, but not enough to go on. So, when this has all been said and done, we will come back, we will talk about what happened, we'll do our thoughts on it, and we'll go from there, okay? So, we're only going to talk about the 4 that actually definitely signed with the intent to be on PWHL Las Vegas. And they are May Bapperson, Kendall Cooper, and then these 2 signings, which then sent playing on heart attacks last night, and Ambrose, Lady Skamora, should we just go there? Yeah, let's go there. Plo, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, boy. Take it away. I told you, Victoire. I told you! I told you were not going to keep Ambrose. I said it last year. I've been saying it for a year. Ambrose is gone. I said it. I've been saying it and I've been proven right. And it's so funny last year how you were saying, oh, I think both Barnes and Ambrose could be goalers. But before they had it, chance to both go straight in with the 4 protector slots. Yeah, because Kaya Barnes went for definite, and then the 4 protector slot got open, and Montreal straight away thought, yeah, we know what's happening. We're not going to give this one the satisfaction of being proven right. We're not going to give him the rights to feel like he's the cat that's got the queen. But they saw you coming. Ba-boom. She's protected. The 4th slot. They saw you coming, my boy. They saw you coming from a mile off. But then again, I still didn't change my mind. And here we are now, a year later, and I was went into this space thinking, yep, she's going. Because really, would any expansion team pass up on the chance to have a player like that in your arsenal? No. No. Stamore, on the other hand, oh my god. Yeah. I know, we're all like that. Oh my. The amount of noises you 2 made last night, I was like, oh my god, I thought one was going to have a heart attack. Get Dr. Ollie. And I don't like it. No, we don't like him. Get out of Josie Jump's house! Honestly. Yeah, shall I take some more? Yeah, hi, go on. Right, so basically, Victoire, I told you so, I told you so. Said you were not going to keep Ambrose. And oh look! I was right! Yep. Now, Skamora, though, is interesting. As well, Ambrose, you kind of look at the thing, yeah, definitely she's going. Skamora was one of those players that I was kind of thinking, I think you did it as well, boy, you kind of thinking, well, ideally you would like to protect her. And if she gets to base 3, yes, but will she get to base 3? Yeah. I mean, I think Skamora was a highly targeted player for the expansion. I mean, she's done. And again, this is the problem with the Montreal Victoire. They basically are their own worst enemy here, shot themselves in the foot. Now, yes, we all know they had no choice in their protections, but you basically now have opened yourself up to basically getting just wounded. This is basically the problem with being a World Cup champion in the year leading up to expansion. Yeah. Well, you kind of said that last night, yeah. And the way you kind of want to feel sorry for the Big 12 because, you know, they lose Gosling, they lose Gamora, they lose Ambrose. There's at least one more to go that you're going to lose, but they're going, ooh. Hold on a minute. Is Abby Rock then now their biggest asset on offer? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But no, you were saying, I was kind of like, yeah, because, you know, we saw it last year, you know, Seattle, Vancouver just ransacked us and Ottawa because we were the two teams that made the finals, and but Ottawa's already been gouged so far this time around. I know. No, I'm not feeling sorry for Ottawa. No. For the Big 12, I will feel sorry for, but for Ottawa, no. No, we told you to do it. You didn't listen. Which we're about to get onto. So, do you know what? No. I don't feel sorry for Ottawa. I don't feel sorry for Ottawa. Yeah, so, the next time we hear expansions coming, basically, whoever gets to become World Cup champion, league going into it, just wave goodbye to your core. Wave goodbye. Yeah. Because basically, you look at those three that have gone so far, you think, oh, those really could have helped the Big 12 maybe get a back-to-back title. But now you think, oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. And I think the Big 12 are going to go through over the summer what we went through, which is basically everyone saying, oh, how's Minnesota going to cope now? They've lost a lot of their championship core. No. And Big 12 fans, what I'd say to you guys is, don't listen. Don't engage. Don't get involved. Don't listen to it, okay? Because at the end of the day, you know what your team is. Like how we know how our Frost works, you know how your team works. So don't listen to it. Okay? Because you will now. You will. So Big 12 lads, if you hear somebody saying anything about your team, thinking, oh, look, they're doing well because they lost that, don't listen to it. Don't engage. Just carry on with your World Cup celebrations. Because that's what we did this time last year, okay? Don't do it. Don't engage. Don't poke the bear. Don't do it. Okay? Just focus on having your celebrations. Okay? But, wow. Oh my god. Oh my bloody god. Wow. That's basically an absolute... Las Vegas, you didn't basically just gouge Montreal. You basically went on Miley Cyrus. You basically got your clothes off. You took a massive wrecking ball and swung it right at Daniel Sabadano and just went in and gone, yeah, having that. Wow. Those are two big players right there who's going to make a huge difference. A huge difference to this team. Right there. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm so stunned. I cannot believe Scamora's gone. I can't believe they got Scamora. I mean, yes, she was likely to be seen as a target for fan teams, but I thought, oh, maybe the Montreal Big 12 find a way. They haven't. And Daniel Sano was the only one that got a massive Miley Cyrus wrecking ball for them. Well, he did too. Yeah, you could say. Yeah. May Bapperson and Kendall Cooper. Wow. That's the second year in a row that we've lost our first rounder from the previous entry draft. Yeah. So obviously Claire Thompson was our first pick in 2024, and then obviously Vancouver took her. Then 2025, Kendall Cooper was our first pick. Yeah. And now she's gone. Yeah. So I still think you should at least not be allowed to take teams first rounders from the previous year's draft. I still think that should be a rule, but it didn't get made a rule. But anyway, I'll talk about that another time. Yeah. We can talk about that. We're going to change things for the future. Yeah. I feel like we're going to really miss these two. Their absences, I think, are really going to be felt on the Frost roster next year. Especially as Kendall Cooper, you know, is starting to find her way. She and Abby Hustler are having a really good, you know, rookie campaigns. So if we could just try to keep Hustler, that would be really good, please. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm really gonna miss them. Particularly Mae Matheson. Mae Matheson was a huge piece of the last 2 years. She was a huge part of the 2025 World Cup run. And I think Vegas is going to really benefit from a player like that on their roster. And Kendall, she literally was behind her stride. Yeah. What difference she can make? She's got to stay with us. But clearly, you know, this roster's only big enough for one, Kendall. Steady! Steady! We're not out of the woods yet! We are not out of the woods yet! Okay? There is still a chance. There is still a chance. We're not out of the woods yet with that. We are not out of the woods yet with that. Still Winkles on life support. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she might go. We'll see. Yeah, those are two. But I think for me, those two are big losses. I honestly, I'm more upset losing those two than I am about losing Britta. So, yeah, Britta, absolutely, you can get rid of her. But losing these two, I thought they were huge assets to our team. Both Matheson and Cooper, even though one had been there longer than the other. I still thought they both made huge contributions to our team, and their losses are going to be felt on the roster next year. Absolutely. We are really gonna miss them. So if we're thinking ahead to the entry draft in Detroit, do we basically try and go for the blue line again? Because obviously our first round pick last year was a defender. Because everyone went into the entry draft. Last year thinking Minnesota needs to prop its blue line because we're losing both Jakes and Thompson. If it was me, I would, for the first 2 rounds, I would focus on getting the blue line back up and then look at what else is missing that we might need going into next season. I think it's quite hard to judge how to do, especially with how stacked the class is. Yeah. So basically, go in and see what you can get and then take on that, really. Yeah, but I think for me, I'd was prop up the blue line again. Make sure we've got a strong defense that can just give the support to our tandem where they. Yeah, that is a huge losses there for the Frost, and they will be felt next season. They really will. Now, as we said, there was one further sign made. They did make all 5. It was their EFO, but as I mentioned, there's been a lot of furore, a lot of skullduggery. That is basically what's caused the headache. So thank you very much, Hillary Knight. I'm disappointed in her. I'm disappointed in her. Wow. Rules are rules. Yeah. I don't care if you're a future Hockey Hall of Famer. I don't care if you've been on SNL. I don't care if you were named to Time magazine. I don't care. You knew what the rules were, Harry. Rules are rules. No exceptions. No special treatment. Okay? That's the player in question. That is the player in question. Harry Knight is the player in question. Like I said, we're not going to talk about it because it's still, we've basically only got he said, she said. We haven't got the full picture. We're not going to get the full picture until after Phase 4, because that is when the roster freeze ends. The roster freeze is in place until the end of Phase 4. After that, we should hopefully get some more clarity. Like I said, we do have clarity. We will then come back on, explain it, and then basically give our thoughts on it, okay? Yeah. Okay, so we're not going to talk about Vegas' 5th pick, because it's not really a 5th pick. Yeah. But honestly, Harry Knight. No. So we can pretty much just leave it there. Yeah, we can pretty much leave it there. Because like I said, we're not talking about what happened with Harry. We're saving that. We are saving that for another time. Yeah. We're gonna get this messy process out of the way first. Let's get the draft out of the way first, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay? Yeah, that's the deal. Yeah, that's the deal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just finish on reminding you Las Vegas' foundational signing. So there's only 4 here. So, PWHL Las Vegas signed May Bapperson and Kendall Cooper from Minnesota, and Ed Ambrose and Hayes Gamora from Montreal. Alright, we're now going to move on to PWHL Hamilton, and oh, wow. Lady, you did dare say that you think that this is basically what Vancouver was last year. Yeah, I just looked at those first 5 and I thought, oh my god, are they basically the Vancouver 2026? But we'll see. I think it's a bit too early to call that, because we still have 2 more phases to come. Obviously, we've got phase 3, where they can make a further 3 signings, and then in phase 4, when they'll do a final 2, of course, take us out to 10. I know, it's still too early, but so far, I've been very impressed with Hamilton. But what I think is interesting is Hamilton did not use their EFO, which I think is really interesting. And I think this then makes it a bit confused with the rules, because, like, well, wasn't made clear to us, do these teams have to use their EFOs? Do they not have to use their EFOs? And also, someone got asked with you, George, about, on the socials, I thought it was supposed to be friendly on Blue Sky. Yeah, but someone got arsy with me when I was saying after we lost our 3 from Minnesota, I was kind of like, oh well, this is who we've lost. We can now maybe start protecting so-and-so. And then someone fired back at me and was like, don't be so short. I'm like, I am sure, mate. I've been with this league how long now? Day 1. Since day fucking 1. And I've got how many years of being involved with women's hockey? 16. Okay? When will people learn? Do not pick a fight with me when it comes to women's hockey, because you will lose. You will lose. I know the rules. Okay? I may not understand them, but I know the rules. Okay? Don't come to me like that. Do not come for me. Do not. You will lose every time. Right. Let's have a look at these. So we've got Brianne Jenner from the Ottawa Charge. Kelly Osborne from the New York Sirens. Aaliyah Muller, for the Boston Fleet. So she's reunited with Chris Sparta. Nicole Gosling, the Montreal Victoire. And Emily Clark, from the Ottawa Charge. And yes, Charge fans, the jazz hands are warming up as we speak. For that told you so at the end of the show. We told you! We told you to do it. You didn't do it. You didn't listen to us. Okay? 2 years in a row now, we've had a very good efficiency when it comes to protection list. Anyway, wow. I think Jenner and Clark are the 2 big takeaways here. Oh, yeah. I mean, I believe Jenner was the first to go. She was the first of the whole phase. So Hamilton kicked the phase off, and kicked it off with a bang. Yep. I'm like, straight away, I was like, woohoo! Yeah. Wow. Interested didn't use the EFO, because you thought, Jenner is a card player that you maybe would use the EFO on. Mm-hmm. And the question now is Testament to his ban now officially lifted from Ottawa, or does it now to transfer to Hamilton? Those are the big questions he's got regarding expansion. Just saying. No, I know. I know you try. I know you try. You try to, libel up what is a really stressful time. So, yeah, fair dues. Yeah, fair dues. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, fair dues. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's shocking. I mean, for me, if I was going to use the EFO, I would have used it on maybe Jenner or Clark. It's interesting with Emily Clark, because she was considering taking a pay cut. Staying over. Yeah. She was considering doing a Marine Fleet plan and taking a pay cut to stay in Ottawa. So I would have absolutely. Well, let me ask the question now. Who would you use the EFO on? Plutter's gone. You saying Jenner? Yeah, I was saying Jenner. Okay. I probably would have gone Clark. I think. Me too. Yeah. Especially if you got wind she's going to take a pay cut. You might have thought, well, actually, no, Emily, look. Here's an EFO for you, lot. Look, got more money for you. More dollars. There you go. You don't need to take a pay cut. You're worth it. Other products, other healthcare products are available, by the way. Maybe it's Maybelline. Are they even still around? Because those ads were all the rage in the late noughties, early tens. Alright. No, but oh my god, Emily Clark going, that is like, wow. Because you'd have thought, if Brianne Jenner goes, you'd have thought, okay, Emily Clark makes the step up to captain, you know, and yet, here we are, both her and Clark are gone. Both Jenner and Clark go. And you can't even give it to Rory Gurney either, because she's gone as well. Come on. Yeah, come on to that next. Come on to that next. But no, that is just so interesting. Aaliyah Muller and Nicole Gosling, you can't look at those two and think, oh, can't wish maybe protect them. Well, honestly, with Boston it was so tough, because obviously I think if they didn't have Haley win, I think it would have been easy for them to just go straight and protect Muller. But we've got win there what we do, and I think with Boston, I think they looked at the Muller and thought, okay, we're gonna need to take the gamble here. And I felt I kind of like, well, if she gets to phase 3 and still the fleet, you protect her there. But obviously it was a gamble they had to take, and it just couldn't pull off. Whereas in Montreal, it's their own worst enemy, because obviously we all knew they had side Pelen, they had side Stacey, they had side SBN. You knew there was no chance of a player like Nicole Gosling. She had a really standout rookie season, by the way. She's not for rookie of the year. She won't win. Alright, it's Brie Award. Well, it just means to have the Tonys. Oh, I love that. Yeah, she's nominated, but she's not gonna win. You know Hedy Weir's taking that gong. You know she is taking that gong. You know it. We all know she's gonna get that gong. It's gonna happen. Period. Conversation period. Yeah, so I just that is obvious for me. That right there. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Yeah, I think Gosling's kind of like what Breen was last year, a player who really stood out despite all the stars had on the Victoire, but unfortunately couldn't stay on because expansion teams looked at them and thought, yeah, this is who we want on our team. I looked at Abby Breen last year and thought, oh, that's a player who really could make her mark in Montreal, but unfortunately Vancouver got in there first. Yeah. And she hasn't done too shabby with the goal lines this year. And Gary Goldsmith, same thing. Has a brilliant rookie campaign with the Victoire. You think could be somebody who could really, depending on how expansion hits the Victoire, could really be impactful going forward. But nope. Here comes Hamilton, swoops in, hits the goal at Gosling, and I think this will give Gosling a chance to really shine on a new roster. Because with Montreal, it's kind of hard for like the young talent to really, stand out. Just like really stand out, because obviously there's Marie Fleet on there, you've got Laura Stacey on there. It's so hard for any young player to really try and make a breakout on Montreal's roster, because you just know these superstars are on there, and they're the ones who are kind of lead the way. So I think this move is kind of going to be good for Gosling, because it gives her the opportunity to basically go and shine on another team and be like a face of a franchise. Now, lady, let's talk Osborne. When this was announced, you went straight in there, full on, the full 3 witches of Macbeth combined. Well, can you blame me? No, but you straight just cackled away when it was announced that Chaos Board had been taken by Hamilton. Well, okay, it's kind of like a told you so moment, because what I think was really interesting for the protection list was how almost every team signed a netminder. And I think it just showed that this year, teams value netminding more than ever. Especially when you go to next year, you've got 4 million teams coming in. Do you really want to give them a to block by netminding? No. So, everyone, it's just so hilarious the only team not to protect a netminder loses a netminder. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I feel it kind of validates, teams doing that. So as we saw with San Jose next, they also took a netminder. Yeah. So it kind of really validated, Seattle making that move, using a protector slot on Hannah Murphy. I know. Cat that got the cream. But you didn't. But like your wife said, you didn't fight hard enough to put on the list. If you fought hard to put on the list, we would have got 2 right in Seattle. So you can do your cat that got the cream pose all you like. You didn't fight hard enough. You didn't go on the list. Yeah. You do wonder what York gonna do now because they clearly don't trust the other 2 netminders on their roster. Clearly, Greg Farrell doesn't trust them because the amount of ice time Kelly Osbourne got last year was just off the chart. We even did an episode about it not long before we had into the break from Marcotina. In fact, no, didn't we record it? And then like a day or 2 later, they then made the switch. Made a switch. Yeah. But I don't think the episode was published when that happened. Though I think it was still in post production. But yeah, it was. But yeah, so Do you think New York would go and draft a netminder in the draft in Detroit? It depends. They might want it. Because they might think, not really got somebody who can line 99 out. Should we go shopping in the draft? Maybe. They did last year, which I thought was a bit surprising because yes, you had Kate Osbourne. Yeah, I think New York last year threw me off when they drafted netminder. Because I thought, you're not really one of the teams that needs to do that. Boston needs. Boston needs it, of course. Absolutely agreed with Boston doing that, but York, no, not really. But yeah, I just find it so hilarious that Kate Osbourne goes because who's York gonna trust now to go next? Oh, please, not the Hammerford. Please, not the Hammerford. Yeah. Oh wow, we could all now put it's got her on their team. We can boo to our heart's content, not get stared at for booing. Isn't it interesting how I was the only one who didn't have a problem with when people near us on the trip? Yeah, because he had it with the Seattle game. You had the Ottawa game. No, I didn't. I got away scot-free. Well, I think it really. I think what had me on was not that she did the death stare to me. It was the fact that she then had the cheek to basically, as I was doing filming, because it was getting towards the end, as I was doing filming, she had the cheek to basically say out loud she was not happy with the scoreline. But yet we were winning 5-0. Like, barefaced cheek, and that is now forever captured on one of my highlights package. Definitely was a first timer. Definitely was a first timer. Absolutely a first timer. That clearly was her first game. There's no way with a Frost band say that. We would be happy with a 5-0 lead. Anyway, yeah, so let's get into what the Sirens do in terms of netminders. As you said, they've got nobody reliable right now. Or do I say nobody that they trust more, like, is more better phrase. But what to do. Yeah, so it's exciting that Finley and Muller gets to be reunited with Chris Glass. Because, I think he did very well under his leadership. So, the fact that he's got some. Why is it that if Troy Ryan gets anyone from the sectors? Oh, yeah, to Sarah, is it? Yeah. No, but I think it's really good that she gets to be reunited with him. Yeah, I feel like these 5 are really strong foundational signings here. Yeah. Hamilton have got a really strong start. Yeah. I look at these 5, I think, yeah, these 5 could make a huge difference if they gel together. Because the one thing we take away from Banco and Seattle this season that's just gone, is they did not gel together. If these signings can come together and just gel on their respective lines, then you could look at Hamilton as a force to reckon with, especially knowing how what we saw Chris Barr do with the Boston Fleet this year. If he could do that again with Hamilton, then this team could be a serious threat going into 2026, 2027. Yeah, could be a serious threat. Could be a serious threat. Yeah. So I really like the fight that Hamilton got with so far. Yeah. It just makes you wonder, how are they going to top it? Yeah. Obviously, there's still another 5 players for them to sign. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what Hamilton does next. Yeah, especially as how you've got your starting netminder already. So Hamilton really could basically hedge their bets in the draft and go there and just focus on, backing up your offense and defense. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's still some decent netminders to be taken if Hamilton was to just straight up lock up 1A, 1B, or hedge your bets in the draft. We'll see. Yeah. But I'm really impressed. His first one, I was like, wow, Hamilton were not messing around. No. Well, you should have realised that when they poached Chris Barr off the Boston Fleet. I know. I said it in the episode, like, Boston's not... sorry, Boston, but Hamilton's here to play. Hamilton's here to play. Hamilton's not messing around. Hamilton is not messing around. Hamilton, I kind of feels like they recognise it's the win now mentality. Which I think probably is still true to the league, even though we are now about to hit a nice period of stability. I think it probably is still for a lot of teams. They do still feel like it's win now. Yeah. But obviously the stability coming to the league and all that. So yeah. So Hamilton clearly were not messing around. They are here to play. They mean business. They really do, and I'm really impressed. Yeah. So far, let's see if Hamilton can keep this up. Obviously, we've got phase 3 right around the corner. Yeah. Phase 3, of course, kicking off G10. And then we'll see what happens in phase 4 when they just need to do 2 final signings. So yeah, so Hamilton have got off to a really strong start, and I'm really impressed with them. Oh, me too. Really, really impressed. Really impressed. Yeah. I just love these, and I think it's a good start. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. We'll see how it goes from there. Yeah. It's really, I feel like Hamilton. Does it feel like they peaked there in phase 2? Well, it depends. Depends on who they're going to go in phase 3 and 4. Yeah, but you've got 5 really strong signs there. How does it get any better than that? Yeah. I think with me, this is the last part I want to make it. I'm just surprised they didn't use that EFL. Yeah. Because I look at those 5, I think, surely you could have offered an EFO to War. Clark. Yeah. Surely. Well, they didn't really make this clear. They didn't make clear in the rules what happens with the EFO. Does it have to be used in phase 2, or can you carry it into say phase 3 or phase 4? But why would you even want it in phase 4 when in phase 4 you only get to have 2 signings? I can sort of see the idea of keeping it for phase 3, because in phase 3 you've got to make 3 signings, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense. The rules sort of weren't made clear, but that's okay, because these are things that we can take a mental note of, and then we can talk about when we get to... we are going to have an episode after the process where we're going to talk about our thoughts on the process as a whole, and what things we thought went right, what things didn't go right. What would we change for the next one, all that, yeah. Basically, the episode we wanted to do last year, but didn't. Yep. Because you lot all went to complete DEFCON 1. Yeah, you all went DEFCON 1, panic. Vancouver's going to be 1, 2 in the league standings, one's going to win the World Cup. You lot all went DEFCON 1. Whereas us 3 and Becky Keller all told you, calm. You need to calm down. Okay, Tay-Tay. I actually love her Toy Story song. Because that came out on last Friday. I love it. It reminds me of her debut album. And yes, I am that old. I am that old. Let's move on. Yeah, so... Okay, right. So we'll just finish off by reminding you who Hamilton chose to take in this phase. So PWHL Hamilton made the following signings in phase 2. Brianne Jenner from the Ottawa Charge, Kate Osborne from the New York Sirens, Alina Muller from the Boston Fleet, Nicole Gosling from the Montreal Victoire, and Emily Clark from the Ottawa Charge. And of course, the final roster is PWHL's San Jose. Right, so how impressed are you so far? I kind of look at these first 5 and think they're okay. They're okay. But I do think that they still need a lot more. So it's going to be interesting to see how Thursday and how Troy Ryan goes about phases 3 and 4. It'll be very interesting to see how he does in that. Because he's got 5 good signings that would really help the team in the long haul. But we know the PWHL is kind of a win now mentality. So, I don't know. But we'll see. So, yeah, I kind of feel with these first 5, I kind of feel, yeah, they're alright. They're not bad. I just think, though, you're going to need to really then, in the next 2 phases, you're going to need to really bolster up to really give the support this is going to need. So, PWHL San Jose went with the following 5 players. Corrine Schroeder, Rory Gearday, and Trollowski, Kristen O'Neill, who used the EFO on, so we'll start with that first, and then Maddie Wheeler. So, a lot of Sirens players there going to San Jose, swapping one teal for another. Let's start with the EFO. So they used the EFO on Kristen O'Neill, and obviously us 3, we had her as our 3rd protection pick on our list. I mean, we were kind of really struggling with the Sirens, you know, what to do with the list, because I didn't feel Casey O'Brien had done enough to earn it. How long was I there? If you had just put aside that, we could have got a 3 for 3. I know. And if Plur thought harder about putting Hannah Murphy on, we could have got an extra on Seattle. Anyway, they weren't perfect. They weren't perfect lists. What can I say? You try playing RChem GM and see how you go about it. Yeah, so do we kind of feel bad at it there? I definitely think we feel bad at it, but the fact that Kristen O'Neill, not only did she go, but she's getting an year first. Especially how you talked about how Kale Schofield, Brianne Jenner, Darryl Watts, Jesse Eldridge, Harry Knight would be seen as more likely to be given an EFO. It kind of felt a bit left field, but if Thursday feels that she's going to really help this team, then fine. Yeah. I mean, the EFO didn't need to go to a flashy star player. Yeah. It could have gone to anyone. Yeah. Whoever the team feels is going to be that cornerstone player, give it to anyone. Yeah. And I don't have a problem with it. No, I just remember thinking, wow, okay, right. That's interesting. We didn't see that one coming. Nope. Bad at it because we did say to the Sirens to protect her, and they didn't. And of course, remember, Kristen O'Neill came to York this season via a trade. She was one of the many trades that was made on the draft floor in Ottawa last season. So she literally just joined from the Victoire to the Sirens. And I don't think she did that bad, but clearly you need to give her to a team where she can shine. And I think with Zaze, she's now got the opportunity to do that. So, but it was a bit surprised because I think we kind of felt, oh, maybe the EFOs will just be used on, you know, big star players, but nope, it could be anybody and everybody. It's all fair game, so that's really good. Corrine Schroeder was also interesting, and I think it just proves that Seattle made the right call when it came to protecting a netminder. Now people start to say, not bad. Right? Yeah. I'll go, then you can come in. Right, okay. Yeah. Now, Creature, let's face it, throughout her time in the PWHL, hasn't really been given the opportunity to really show us what she's capable of. You know, she was York's starting netminder for seasons 1 and season 2. Then, of course, she gets taken by Seattle in this clear summer window. We all literally thought, okay, this is who Seattle's going to have their starting netminder. But then, of course, Seattle then went and drafted Hannah Murphy, and that then changed the game. And clearly Seattle thought, right, we can only keep one. Who do we want to really see going forward? And they went with Murphy, and then basically that just left the floodgates open for Schroeder to go. So I do think maybe now Schroeder's by Lee, unless Thursday goes and drafts a rookie netminder, and it all turns the tables again. But maybe now is the opportunity for Schroeder to really shine and show us what she's capable of. Because I don't think throughout her time in the PHL, I don't think she's been given a fair hearing. I really don't. But go on, Pluto, make the counter argument. Go on, make the counter argument. Well, this thing of all the potential netminders up for grabs, you go and do that. She hasn't had good numbers. Because New York were last in both seasons 1 and 2, and Seattle, last. Yeah, but it did lean heavily on towards the end of the season. And towards the end of the season, Seattle was starting to improve a bit. So they weren't leaning heavily on towards the end of the season. So it's all that same Hannah Murphy at the start kind of went out the window, and all Schroeder's not going to come in. Well, goal plan points on the line, so maybe they thought maybe we got a better chance for Schroeder than that. Probably. Just didn't give it that support. No. Yeah, but I just think, well, go then. If you Troy Ryan, you go get that money. Who would you go on nabbed? Who do you go on nabbed? Either Chili or Hensley, because they've both been one A's and one B's, so I would go on that route. Okay, I can see the point, but I do think this now maybe it's Schroeder's chance to really turn the corner, turn it around, and finally now prove to us why she is a worthy netminder in this league. She's not been a fair shout. She's one of those players where you've got to try and put on the right team, and she'll blossom, and maybe it's going to be with Zaze. Maybe with Zaze. Yeah, but I just think other options you could have gone with. You want to go for netminder. Just saying. Well, not really, because every team except New York, protected a netminder, and of course New York took the best option off the table. Well, with Hamilton getting her, yeah. Do you want to do it again? So Hamilton is what I say. It's been a long weekend. Yeah, it's been a long weekend. I'm still with you with a headache. No, so York put Chaos on the table. Go on, correct your Rexall lady. Go on, correct yourself. So York basically put Chaos on the table. Hamilton built first. And then, because the rest of the league didn't really put their best netminders on the table, then Sazi could have thought, right, who do I go with? He could have gone Hensley. Could have gone Julie. The fact you're happy to say could have gone Hensley, that baffles me. Do you want our talent to stay intact or not? Well, the options were there, and she still is there. She still is there for the taking. She's still there. What, so maybe for Detroit or Vegas, because they didn't take netminders. Oh, please no. Please no. Now, always not feeling so high now. Yeah, but yeah. I feel come see, come saw. I can see your side, George, but I can also see my husband's side as well. So, I think the best way to do it is, well, let's see what happens in the autumn. There we go. Right. Can we stay with New York? Because Jaworski, that was also a surprise. And I kind of felt with Saze, they weren't going for the bleeding obvious here. They weren't going for the obvious star talent that you could have taken an offer. And it does make me wonder, is San Jose going for the grassroots approach, where you build the foundations of a roster that will get you through your first 2 or 3 years, and then by the time you get to, say, year 5, year 7, that's when you burst through and you make an impact? Is that the route San Jose's going with here? Now, that is the route we see in other sports leagues, but the PHL is not like other sports leagues. Now, with the PHL, it's very much that win now mentality. So I just, I mean, it's a good pick. I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but I just kind of, but I remember when that was being announced, that literally kind of, just threw me off. Kind of, just threw me off balance. So I was thinking, wow, like just, wow, yeah. You didn't see that coming. Nope. So unless you two got anything you want to say about that, because our site's just Guild Day. So, I think Tarski, she could really make a splash in Zaze, but it's just, yeah, that one came out of the blue. That literally came out of the blue. It's like, wow, okay. Okay. Did we have any of that last year with Banco and Seattle? Was there any of their picks last year, where it was this time when all the actual draft? Was there any that we thought this but a bit left field? Not for me. Okay. Because I just kind of felt every time a pick was made, I kind of thought, that's a fair shout. Was there anyone I thought, really? This one? Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. But maybe this is a player that would have a good opportunity to shine on a completely different roster. That is. Yeah, that is. And finally, Rory Gilday. What did we say, Ottawa? What did we say? Now, I kind of felt that Rory Gilday, for me, was the rookie I was keeping a good eye on. Because I kind of felt that, she had some really good strides. She managed to get herself a spot on Team USA's roster for Olympics, something that the likes of Casey O'Brien did not do. So I kind of felt, Gilday, you're at one point, like how at one point suggested Hamburg could be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. You also had that as a Rookie of the Year for Gilday. Yeah, I kind of felt Gilday for me, could maybe challenge the likes of Win or Kalashnikova for that, but obviously, didn't make it onto the nominations, which is, okay, fine, that is. But I kind of felt this is a player who, with more time, and more development, is going to grow into a future star in this league. I just do. And the fact that she's now on Zaze, it gives the opportunity for a fresh start and the opportunity to really show people what she can do. I think for Ottawa, you have messed up big time. Big time you've messed up. And we all saw the reaction last year, didn't we? Oh yeah, the reaction for the fans when Ottawa made the perk was like, wow. And I think one, that shows you what kind of fan base Ottawa is. But secondly, the fact that literally this player hasn't even played them yet, already they're giving her the laugh. Yeah, that's just good. Yeah, that is so good. You won't catch that at an NHL draft. Nope. You would not catch that. Nope. Yeah. But yeah, I just think, oh my god, what are you doing? What have you done? Because I think Gilday is the kind of player Ottawa would need to keep hold of to try and make up the fact that they've lost big in Brianne Della and Emily Cloud. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you're looking for players to step up post-expansion, she would be in that category. But would that have been too much pressure for the likes of her in Ottawa to do that? I don't know. I think that might now fall onto Rebecca Leslie. Mm-hmm. That might not fall onto her. Yeah. But no, but I kind of felt she did really well in the particularly that first half of the season to basically earn her spot on TOS's roster, especially the Rabbit series. Well, there you go. She's done. She had a really good season. Okay, probably wasn't as strong as it could have been, but for the first year, she did not do bad. She did not do that bad. I mean, how many players can say in their rookie year in professional hockey they get to be on an Olympic roster? Not many. Not many. Not many. I mean, Hayley Wynn, I think it was pretty much obvious because she just literally came in straight away and just went lights out. It's like Sarah Philly last year. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but I remember when the rosters came out, I wasn't surprised that Gilda and we were on there because I think at the time they both had done enough to earn their place and it was the right move because obviously we want to go. Yep. So I just think this is a really, really good signing for Zaze, and I'm really pleased that it was Zaze who was the team. I kind of felt if one of these teams was going to take a bite and go for Roy Gearday, I was literally hoping it would be Zaze, because I think that's a really good player that Zaze is going to have for their team, and that's the kind of player that Zaze could use on their team, so I think that's really, really good. And basically, make Ottawa pay. Make Ottawa pay, because literally, we said it. We said on our list to keep Clark. We said on our list to keep Gilday. And what happened? You didn't listen. You didn't listen. We know what we're doing. We may live in England, other side of the pond, but we know what we're talking about, guys. We know what we're doing. Yeah. We knew it. We knew it's the move to make. You didn't do it. So, basically, all the charge fans next season, don't come crying to me over spilt milk, because you're not going to get any sympathies from me. No, not one bit. Okay? Not one bit. Alright? So, nah. So, just think on that, charge fans. If you're looking for sympathy, you will not be getting it from any of us three. No, at all. No, at all. No, not one bit. Okay? You made your bed, now go and lie in it. That's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, just woo-hoo-hoo! What a steal for Zaze. What a steal for Zaze. I just think this is going to be an amazing player for the team. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what she's going to do in her second year. Yeah, really excited. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Yeah, cannot wait to see what she's going to do. Yeah, second year. It's a good player. Good player, yeah. So, just to remind you, PWHL Zaze's following 5 signs are as follows. So, PWHL Zaze signed Corinne Schroeder from Seattle, Roy Gearday from Ottawa, and then Ann Trotsky, Kristen O'Neill, bear in mind O'Neill used the EFO one, and Maddie Wheeler, all from New York. And so there we have it. That is your recap for Phase 2. Off the head, still bad. Yeah, still bad. Honestly, I don't think it's going to clear before tomorrow. Yeah. Well, is this the only thing you got to do post-production tonight? Yeah. Because the bulk of what we got done, yes, they're already put in post-production. Okay, so yeah. Just try and take it easy. Yeah, just, yeah, I'm struggling. Honestly, it's literally just started like the last few hours. Yeah, it's about say like yeah, not long after 5:30. Yeah, when it kind of kicked in. Yeah, it's just this. As you guys know, this process is stressful enough. The last thing we need is skullduggery or furores or dramas to happen. in the middle of it. And unfortunately, I don't know who's to blame for that. I don't know who's to blame. Is it the league? Is it Detroit? Is it Vegas? Is it even dare say hearing out at all? I don't know. But when we get proper clarity of that, because I think it is going to be a trade involved here, but of course we can't know for certain until after Phase 4, because the roster freeze is currently in place until the end of Phase 4. So, we're probably not going to know until maybe the day before the draft if that happens. Who knows? Yeah. But once that drama with Harry is cleared up, we will come back on and we'll talk you through it and we'll give you our thoughts on it, but we're not pleased. Nope, we are not pleased. Rules are rules, Harry. Rules are rules. I'm not mad, just disappointed. Oh! The disappointing cards! Oh my god. Wow. Anyway, that is the end of Phase 2. Phase 3, of course, begins tomorrow, and Phase 3 will take us from tomorrow to the end of Friday. And then Phase 4 begins this Sunday. So, for us three, we are not going to be able to record the recap until... the recap of Phase 3, we're not going to record that until Monday. That's going to be the next opportunity we'll have to record that. Of course, on Monday we'll be wrapping up Phase 4. So technically, you'll kind of have a bit of a double whammy. You'll get Phase 4, concluding on Monday, while we're doing our recap of Phase 3, and then on Tuesday we'll probably do our recap of Phase 4. Yeah. So we could really do with get the draft news out now, because that is literally less than a week away. Yeah. I still can't believe there's a week to go. We still don't know what the order is going to draft. When really the non-parties already should have had their decisions done already by the gold plan standings. So but that's the plan. So our recap is for Phase 3. We will hope we got that out to you guys on Monday, and then next Tuesday is when we'll probably get Phase 4, and then we probably will still do a recap of Phase 5. We technically don't need to do that, because Phases 5 and 6 is technically just free agency. We'll see how it goes. Depends on what the news dump is. We'll see how that goes. Hang on the what? News dump! I said news! News! What do you think I just said? You don't want to... Pluto! It is not that sort of show. God. I've got a headache. Leave off. I've got a massive headache. Leave off. Alright? Leave me be. Bloody hell. I generally... This is literally giving me a headache. Okay? So please leave off. I don't need any of that. Thank you very much. Just none of that mucky stuff. Yeah. So quite a fair few shocks to say with what happened in Phase 2. And it kind of feels like the worst is still yet to come. Because while a lot of teams did lose big in Phase 2, there is still a lot of really big fish left on the table. Now I imagine that certain teams will want to fry them. So yeah, but we'll see what happens. Bear in mind, in Phase 3, you get to have another protection list. We are not going to do those. I think originally we were going to do a second set of protection lists, but there's been a lot of confusion about when teams present them or not. So we thought, you know what? You're cutting it right to the wire, really, between the starts, between phases. So we're going to just now. We've done one. We've done one set. We don't need to do another. So we're not gonna bother with doing a second set. I know I said we were going to do a second set of checklist for phase 3, but we're not going to bother doing that because the time's just, it's not right now. There's not enough time to do it. So so next thing you'll hear from us on the expansion will be, of course, our recap for phase 3, which will be out on Monday. It's just the way our recording schedules worked, I'm afraid, and the way the expansion process will allow, because and also bear in mind time difference between the States and the UK. So it's just the way it's worked. So yeah, so our thoughts on phase 3, we will be doing that on Monday, and then on Tuesday we'll do phase 4, and then I think that'll be it. Because technically phases 5 and 6 is just basically a little extra free agency before it properly kicks off in July. But we'll see. I'd rather next Thursday just to focus on the draft and the awards. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We might need more time to call those, but we'll see. So phase 3 starts tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. So that's 5 o'clock here in the UK. And of course, that will run you through up until this Friday. Then you get Saturday off to basically go down to the pub. Get wasted. We're all gonna need one after this. And then on Sunday, phase 4 kicks in. And then phase 4 will go really, really quick, because phase 4 is only Sunday, Monday. But in phase 4, it's only 2 signings, but it will go quick. So that is your recap for phase 2. Until next time, take care, guys. Don't forget to all the freeze.